Philipp Kurashev was yesterday not qualified by the Chicago Blackhawks.
Yeah.
A guy who has put up numbers.
54 points in 2023-24 when he was only 24 years old.
He's also a guy, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, was healthy scratch last year.
In Chicago, yeah.
Bumped down the lineup.
He sat some games.
Yeah, I don't know. If he was anything, then the Blackhawks would just keep him.
But that's also an organization who in the middle of the rebuild let Dylan Strome go for nothing.
Yeah,
and like
true.
I do think there's a point of like as much as I get where you're coming from, that like, okay, if that guy was not good enough to play on last year's Chicago Blackhawks, how is he good enough to play on the Oilers? But there are past examples of, Gustav Forsling wasn't good enough to play on the Blue Jackets when they sucked, and all of a sudden here he is.
Suppose. I just don't think every player is that case.
No, they're not.
Yeah.
But you only find those guys if you take shots.
Like Kurashev has 317 NHL games played, and he's played in the NHL. That's 5 seasons now.
Yep.
1 season he has had more than 9 goals.
Yep.
I think the good season was the outlier.
But the 1 year, his rookie year, he scored 8 in just 54 games.
Yeah.
So that paces out a little bit better.
6 in 67.
7 in 51 this last year. So that paces out to like 13. Like, again, you can sit, and this is where your pro scouting has to be good, because you can look at Kurashev and be like, oh, he's just not a good player. He just happened to play a role on a bad team. Or you can sit there and go, if we put him with some talent, maybe there's a player here, and he's only 25 and it would be cheap. Like, again, if the Oilers want to try get younger, they're not getting younger by drafting and developing. They've traded too many draft picks. That ship has sailed. You're only getting younger by finding more Vasily Podkolzins.
I just think I would look at like the Cody Glass, like you said.
Yep.
Like a guy who has gone through the ringer, I guess you could say, of like, okay, it's been recognized by a couple organizations now that this guy is not a top 6 player, but he can play a role in your bottom 6. I feel like with Kurashev, he is not a bottom 6 guy. You have to play him in your top 6, which kind of handcuffs you a little bit.
A little bit. I mean, or he's Kasperi Kapanen, where, you know what, actually on the 4th line, he moves around and he handles the puck well, and he's not that bad. I know a lot of people are on Lucas Reichel as well, who's a 23-year-old with Chicago. He was a first-round pick in 2020. He's never really found a way to produce any offense at the NHL level. I'd be more optimistic potentially in a guy like Kurashev, who at least I can point to 1 season where he's done it.
Yeah, out of those 2, I'd probably pick him, I guess. I'm not sold on them. They worry me. And I know, like, the example that you gave of Forsling is right. And, like, there is obviously other positive ones, but, like, I don't know. Those ones, I just don't think the Oilers are in that spot where they need to go out and find that kind of project. Like Podkolzin, like, you knew he could bang and crash, and he had those attributes. I just don't think those other guys have it.
What's up, Nation citizens? If you like that video, then you need to be subscribed to the Oilers Nation YouTube. Podcasts, live shows, exclusive interviews, and analysis. Everything you need from your favorite voices at Oilers Nation. And you don't want to miss any of it, so hammer that subscribe button.